Uh, yeah, hello everyone. So it will be my great pleasure to be here to be IMC here again to introduce China's recent climate policies agenda and its modern implementation. So as Detlef just mentioned, so recently I just moved to the Energy Foundation China, but my presentation will be still mainly focusing on the policy agenda and based on my previous experiences in the National Climate Center and the modern experiences to introduce some kind of modern implementation. So as you may all know, so China actually have its climate change mainly in entire its 5-year plan. So in its 13th 5-year plan, China has put forward a series of targets. So like in terms of the CO2 emission reduction targets below the 2015 level and also below the 2005 level. And also there are several targets relevant to the overall total consumption of the primary energy and the share of different energy sources like the share of non-fossil fuels, the share of coal, and the share of the natural gases. And we also have such kind of specific physical targets relevant to the different kinds of power capacity. Mike, louder. Okay, sorry. And there will be specific targets for the different sources of power capacity. So in terms of coal, in terms of hydropower, wind, solar, and also nuclear. So while comparing to the existing progress in till the 2018 and with the target, so we will find out that the most of the target is now on track, except the target may be, yeah, that there will be some risk for a target of a share of the natural gas. So it's usually the case because the though China could almost usually could overachieve almost all of our targets, but we seems we never fulfill the targets relevant to natural gas. And so here is our overall picture about the existing progress towards China's 13th 5-year plan and including the Copenhagen Pledge under that was targeting year is 2020. So until 2018, so for the carbon intensity still which is the major targets in China. So China has already achieved 14.5% age below the 2005 level. So sometimes some people will be curious about this number because in 2008, 2017, actually, according to the national released numbers, so our Minister Xie Zhenhua and our Director General of the Department of Climate Change under the ME, previous under the NDRC, so already mentioned that China has achieved 46% of the carbon intensity reduction. But now it seems the same number for the 2018. So, but it does not mean that China has done nothing for the year 2018. This mainly because of China adjusted its national inventory based on the recent third national communications and also the second biannual update report submitted to the UNFCCC. So this is the new number now. The absolute emission level of the 2018 does not change a lot according to the newest inventory, but because China lowered down the emission level of the 2005, so that's the main reason that the reduction in terms of the CO2 emission has been reduced a bit. Though China has almost on track to achieve all its climate targets, but there are several kinds of recent socioeconomic and policy trends that will affect China's future emissions a lot. So the first of all is in terms, once we are talking about a socioeconomic perspective. So everyone knows that China is still undergoing the rapid urbanization, and there will be lead to the giant infrastructure needs, and also the middle class expansion, because China's average GDP per capita almost already achieved 10,000 per person, so 10,000 USD per person. So which means that China will be soon become our high income countries in the next decades. So that will lead to the expansion of middle class, and which will mean which have a lot of means in terms of consumption upgrade. And also the restructuring economy and pursuing the high quality development so has been a priority for China towards its great modern socialization, become a modern socialist country, as being told from our 19th CPC meeting, so which is the highest policy agenda in China. So in that meeting, China has put forward two-stage targets to become a basic modern socialist country until the year 2035, and to be a well-developed modern country by the year 2050. So high quality development is a very hot topic in China. So what kind of development path could be development path could be treated as high quality, and what is the differences from existing development paths China has been suffering, so has been pursuing. So this is the recent policy agenda in terms of the social economic perspective. And energy, so you may know that China has put forward its energy revolution strategy in the year 2016, and in that document, China has put forward a target for the share of the non-fossil fuel in the primary energy of 50% till the year 2050. And this words has been repeated times by times in China recently. So the energy revolution actually mainly still focusing on the energy production and consumption. So which means that the energy efficiency and the renewable development would be the priority. But another different recent trends still indicates that the security issue has been more and more important. So according to the National Energy Commission meeting just held one month ago, so our Prime Minister highlighted the words energy security a lot because of the international tension with the US. So this will be affect China's future energy transition and also the CO2 emissions a lot. And another issue is about the rising debate on the coal. Though we all know that if we want to achieve the 2-degree or 1.5-degree target, so China as a country consumes almost 50% of the world coal, needed to freeze out its coal recently or as soon as possible. However, there are a lot of rising debate on China on coal especially for its 14th five-year plan. So which might be some kind of risk of the coal rebounding in the incoming years. And finally, the power sector market, we all know that if we want to encourage the generation of if we want to change the share of the renewable in our power system, so the market reform will be very important, because like the economy dispatch, that will be a major, that will be able to remove the government obstacles to forbid the access to the access of the renewable to grid, for example. So the the power sector reform, which is still underway, so that will be a very important pillar as well. And finally, we will touch upon about environmental and climate change. So for the environmental, so the political and the policy momentum for a clear air remaining very strong. So there are new 3-year action plan from the 2018 to 2020 is now underway. And also there are a lot of studies relevant to ecological civilization in China. And in climate change, so as I mentioned, so next year we will have our NDC update, and the ambitions MCS serves as a major driver uh, to driven China's future emissions trajectory. However, yeah, two documents is now under development, led by the Department of Climate Change of MEE. One called NDC Progress Report, and another is the MCS, of course. And the two reports are supposed to be submitted to the UNCCC before the end of next year. But concerning there are a lot of challenges exist because due to the U.S. withdrawal from Paris and also the economic downwards trends in China. So a lot of different voices now rising up to that might be forbid China to put forward a more ambitious target. And so in that regard, so how to make the synergies of climate change of the other development priorities like the air or like the economy, that will be more important in the short and the medium term. So by talking this, so to my understanding, so the next 15 months might be very key. It will be key policy windows for China. So from the end of this year to the next year, so the drafting of our 14th five-year plan will be underway, and the 14th five-year plan will be released on the March 2021. And also before the end of next year, so China will put forward the two documents relevant to NDC and MCS. So this will be the policy window if we want to work together with China to have a more ambitious target in the longer term. So what is implication for the IAMC modeling studies? As I mentioned, China is now at a crossroad for the transformation towards a deep decarbonization economy. So there are good signals, but there are still uncertainties. So there will be an urgency to avoid lock-in, so which will take us away from the global 2 and 1.5 degree pathways. And also, we need to accelerate the innovation for technologies, investment, finance patterns, and stakeholder behaviors, as well as institutional and policies. So for the models, I think it will be very important because the policy decision-making will be based on science. So to provide the scientific information to the policymakers to make what China should do, to be what China could do. So how China could achieve a deep decarbonization economy but will not affect its economy, and also could achieve other development priorities like the air pollution at the same time. That would be important to inform the policymakers. So that would be the topics for the modeling studies. And also it will be important to have our to covering the following perspectives. So like how to use the long-term horizons to inform the near-term and the short-term decision-making process. For example, how to translate the 2050 target into the needs for the 14th five-year plan, and how to transform the global targets, the global 2 degree and 1.5 degree into the national, but not only the national, but also subnational and also sectoral pathways for China, also very important, and how to link the climate change with other development priorities, and how to make the science to be more fit to the China context, and to make it more feasible or implementable. This kind of issues, I think, should be covered or think by the modeling by the modeling communities. And finally, I would like to pick up some kind of areas I think that will be more interesting in the near term for the IAMC to covering. The first one is that we need to modeling the new growth story and the game changer. So we are under the new round of the technology and the industrial revolution. So how to modeling the game changer technologies and the business models, and how to make it a new engine of the economic growth, that will be a interesting topic from the policy making process, and also will be an interesting topic for the modeling perspective, I think. And also we need to modeling the pathways towards the climate neutrality for China. So it's not only, yeah, it should cover all gases, should cover all sectors, and more important, I think it will be have the spatial information. It should have the spatial information instead of the not only covering the national ones. And also we need to modeling the systematic transition. So you know the future power system is not the current one. So we need to considering the new characteristics of the systematic transition. And we also need to modeling the synergies with air pollution. So in terms of the drivers and in terms of the policies. So it's not only an emission perspective, but also how to make it, how to harmonize in the policy and the governance. Finally, we need to modeling the just transition. So take the coal as example. So average age of China's coal power plant is around 10 years. So how to make it freeze out and how to avoid the impact on the issues like the employment. For example, the Shanxi provinces, who is the second production provinces in China, but its economy reliance on coal is around 25%. So, and also its job. So how to make the just transition for this kind of stranded, not for the stranded assets, but also for the stranded regions will be very important for the modeling perspective as well. So thank you.